My name is Sirindhorn.
My name is Thammasat. Now we are at SIT Magadi campus, and today we would like to present you about a servo motor and DC motor.
First, I will show you how to make a servo motor repeatedly, switch from 0 to 180 degrees, and how to control the position of the servo motor by using a potentiometer.
And then I will show you how to control the speed of DC motor by using the potentiometer. And at the end of our presentation, I will make you fun with an automated fan which varies the speed based on the temperature.
See that the servo motor will rotate from 0 to 180 degrees automatically. Now let's explain about the sweep effect of servo motor. First of all, you need to initialize the servo pin and the position of the servo, which initialize to be 0 degree. For the setup loop, you need to initialize the pin of the servo. In my code, I initialize to be the number 9 pin. And next loop, you need to use for loop in order to increase the position of the servo motor. And now you command the servo. If the position of the servo motor is 180 degrees, it will sweep back. So that is the algorithm of the sweep servo motor. I rotate the potentiometer to be high. You can see that the servo motor will rotate until to the 180 degree. And if I rotate in the opposite direction to be a lower value, you can see that the servo motor will rotate in the opposite direction to 0 degree. Now let me explain about the algorithm of the knob effects of the servo motor. First of all, you need to initialize the servo pin and the potentiometer pin, and also you need to set up the variable in order to read the value from the analog pin, which had a value between 0 to 1023. And for the next loop is a void setup loop. You need to set up the servo pin, and the next loop is a command loop. You need to set up the value to be read the analog signal, which has a value between 0 to 1023. And also you need to map this value with the angle of the servo motor, which has a value between 0 to 180 degrees. And if you already map it, you can command the servo. You can command the knob effects of the servo, and you can see the effects of the knob effects.
Control the speed of the motor. The speed of the motor will be increased if we increase the value of the potentiometer. As you can see from the wood rotor, it will spin faster. And when we reduce the value of the potentiometer, the speed of the motor will be decreased. As you can see from the serial monitor, this will show the value of the resistance and the speed of the motor. The value from the potentiometer is input of the Arduino, and then Arduino will send the analog signal to the enable pin of the IC L293D, which is the motor driver IC, and then the speed of the motor will be controlled due to the value of the enable. For the algorithm to control the speed of the motor by potentiometer, we start with initialize the pin of the Arduino, and then in the setup function, we set the pin mode of each pin. In the loop function, we initialize the variable named sensor valve to be contain the value of the potentiometer, and then print out the value of the resistance. After that, we initialize the variable named speed motor, which is the map range of the sensor value from 0 to 1023 to be in the range of 0 to 255. And then we assign the analog write to write the speed motor to the enable pin of IC L293D. For the extra part, we would like to present you an automated fan which varies the speed by the temperature. The hero for this part is this temperature sensor. In this part, we use the knowledge from the previous part, but we use the temperature sensor to be the input of the Arduino instead of the potentiometer. And here is the circuit for automated. Now, I set the threshold temperature at 24 degrees Celsius, which is a bit higher than the room temperature. And if I increase the temperature by putting the temperature sensor near the computer heatsink, that the temperature will be higher than the threshold temperature. The fan will be spin faster as the fan level 2. As you can see from the value of the serial monitor, the temperature is about 26, which is higher than the threshold value. And if I remove the temperature sensor out from the computer heatsink, the temperature will be decreased and the fan will spin slower as the fan level 1. To make the motor vary the speed based on the temperature, first we initialize the pin of the Arduino, and then we set the pin mode of each pin of the Arduino to be input or output. After that, in the function of loop, we initialize the variable named sensor value to be a temperature value which reads from the temperature sensor, and then we change the value which we read from the temperature sensor to be reading in the voltage unit, and after that we change the voltage value to be the temperature value by this equation, and then we check that if the temperature is less than the baseline temperature, which is the threshold temperature, then we set the analog write to write the speed of the motor as 100 out of 255 scale, and else If the temperature is higher or equal to the baseline temperature, we set the speed motor to be 250 scale.